Do you think that the more outrageous personality affected the credibility factor as people would watch your videos and you did I've got to be honest with you. The one thing that attracted me to your videos in the beginning was your personality. I don't remember how I found your video, but I'm like, this guy's hilarious. And then you really went into some meat that I could use. But do you find that some people are turned off by the big personality? Does it depend on, the subject matter?
Yeah, I think the
Is
word
there
we're
a fine
talking about,
balance?
yeah, yeah, and this is really what I'm dialing in right now, and I'm like, where's the sweet spot? And people that love the humor, they're like, don't ever lose that. They're afraid that I'm going to change so much that that's gone,
Right.
and they love me how I am. And then at the same time, there's been a huge percentage of viewers who have said, Brian, this was really good, but it was like panning for gold. There's like all this shit, and I just want a nugget. And I think the word that comes to mind, and this transcends across video, is really congruency.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the definition, it means in harmony. And you've got, and here's another part or element to this kind of congruency and harmony thing. A lot of YouTubers will say, I create videos for my audience, but at the end of the day, they create videos for themselves. They do stuff that they want to do. And the amount of peering in and trying to understand what the audience wants is very minimal. And if you do want to grow, then you've got to look and try to improve. You've got to be objective. You've got to be honest with yourself and say, hey, what are people telling me? And I started getting a lot of these comments, and a lot of them went kind of similar to what you said, Tim. And they said, Brian, and this was the different part, but then the second, I'll just get to it. They said, Brian, I hated you in the beginning. I couldn't figure it out. And then you wore me down, and I really appreciate your sense of humor. And I get that, and I think what they're saying is, I thought you were kind of silly and didn't know much. But then I watched, and you offered value. You delivered on what I wanted. If someone's searching for a tutorial on growing on YouTube, or how to edit, or understanding SEO, or understanding keyword research, what is important to them is to gain that information. If you've got a guy that's way over animated, that gets in the way, and that becomes a roadblock to a percentage of people.
Right.
So then, what I didn't want was to be similar to so many people that honestly I feel are a little drab, but I have to remember, and this was the advice I already received prior, was that I'm already amplified. I'm already fun. I'm already engaging, and I didn't need to try so hard. So now I'm just trying to figure it out. But, I think if we're honest, as mentioned, that power that the record button has is pretty, I'm just going to put it out there. Let's just talk about Dale. We both love Dale. Yeah. I think Dale is a comedic genius, but at the same time, his audience, what they want is information on how to self-publish, and he's breaking chairs.
Right.
But he's really, in his video, he's really breaking things.
He is, Dale is a buddy of ours who he has a great Kindle direct publishing channel. And you're right, his personality, and that's Dale, is really over the top, comedic, funny editing. But now, and I don't think he would mind us talking about this, he's really starting to dial it back because he's talking about a serious topic. And
that's just it. You have to ask yourself, and this is where success begins. You've got to identify what you truly want.
Right.
If you want success, if you want a following, well, then you have to understand, what an audience wants, what's going to be the roadblocks. And I so applaud Dale. It's not for a moment that I'm saying Dale's crazy. I just think it's amazing. He's doing the work. He is being honest. He's being objective with what he's doing, and he's making marked improvements as he's moving forward. And I think if you put yourself on that path, it's only a matter of time. Yeah. And at the same time, what's interesting is you can do it too. You can be outrageous. You can be lots of fun. It's just knowing when you cross the line. I'll actually make a video about that in the future. Because I've studied it so much and I've really thought about it, I've identified amazing videos that are technically dialed in, have amazing fun comedy sketches that my core audience loved, but they don't do well because the majority of YouTubers that haven't subscribed to me, they're like, what the hell is this? Because I'm not delivering on their needs and wants.
Right.
So this is where it's that balance between the creator and the audience.
But do you have to serve both audiences, your subscribers and your non-subscribers?
Yeah, do you do viewers and subscribers?
Yeah, I'm sorry, viewers. If I'm a regular subscriber and I know what you do and how you do it and what to expect, but what if I'm someone new coming in? Does it ever go through your mind? Okay, I've established this, and this is what my audience expects. But what about the new folks coming in? Do you ever?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's really, that's the mindset you have to have. You have to think, is this in alignment with what I'm doing? Are my current subscribers going to appreciate this information? And are people that have never heard of me, is this going to be consumable? This is another kind of thing that's been in my mind. Some of my outrageous videos, they were not consumable because they were too over the top. And people were like, I'm here to learn keyword research.
Right.
I know you want to be Steve Martin, but, go do stand-up comedy.
Right.
And I think that's really trying to figure that out. It's a lot of fun, but that's where success on YouTube really is born, is balancing all that stuff out and finding that harmony and congruency that the audience wants.
Yeah, a lot of it is experimentation, don't you think? And that goes along with the evolution part.
Yeah. You must have edited this book, right? Because it seems like you've got a lot of good questions.
No, if I had edited it, they would have been much better. No, I'm kidding. Well, no, I think a lot of the questions I have are conversations that you and I have had because, and again, in all honesty, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is stuff that I'm trying to figure out now because I've got kind of a comedy rant channel. I've got the digital entrepreneur channel. I've got motivation. I've got Kindle Direct Publishing. I've got all these. It's almost like I'm a bit schizophrenic, and I'm still trying to figure out what do I want to do. And you've told me a lot, figure it out and focus, which is the thing I have trouble with. What do you think?
Well, yeah, we're all humans. And the thing is we want to play.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of elements to this topic too. And one of them is that, if I focus, it means I can't do those other things and I don't want to lose.
Right.
But I'm not limited to this. I'm a human being. I am multifaceted. But at the same time, if you look at the most successful YouTubers, they kind of do a thing amazingly well in a manner that nobody else could, and that's their thing. Yeah. I kind of draw a comparison to like the Olympics. Like you didn't see Michael Phelps running the frickin' hurdles.
Right.
I mean, well, he'd be going like this,
Yeah.
Shit, this ain't working.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, like I get a lot of requests for more, Kindle Direct Publishing tutorials because that used to be my thing. And the videos that I have on there have been there a long time and they really do need refreshing, but that's just really not an interest to me anymore. Should I go do those because people are asking for them, or should I stick with, the stuff that I really enjoy and want to focus on doing?
I think that's where you have to identify what does success mean to you and what's most important. I mentioned, really what is success? Like, here's what's up. People are like, oh, success. It's like, I want to make money. Okay, well, that can be a driver, and it is a driver for so many people. But at the same time, there are a lot of people that are not money driven. Yeah. Like I've made a lot of money in my life, but I'm not necessarily money driven. I want that fun factor is important to me. I do want to grow a channel. I do want to have a fan base. I really love to create content. So my type of a success is unique to me. And I think you really have to know what you want. Yeah. And then you have to be willing to sacrifice, and you have to be able to know that you can't necessarily do it all, even though you might want to. And so often when we try, it doesn't really pan out. It doesn't really work, you know? And here's why, because the audience, they're interested in Kindle marketing. And you do that and you start building that up and people come in and they subscribe for Kindle. And then you're going on a humor rant about what you got in the mail. And they're like, yeah, I subscribe to learn about Kindle. And I don't care that there's, you know, weird stuff that you're finding in pamphlets in your mailbox.
It was some pretty weird stuff.
And yeah, so I think at that point, it's like understanding what you want, creating a path to get yourself there, and then having the discipline to have some sacrifice. And it's funny, like I struggle with it too. I just chatted with Nick the other day and we were talking about like, I'm getting ready to go on to a next phase with what I'm going to do. And I'm delaying that because it's like, I haven't even launched this yet. It's not even out and I'm already on to the next thing. It's done. I can see it. I achieved my goal. I said, okay, I'm a big shot. Watch me hit 10,000 subscribers in a year, which don't ever do that. That's crazy. But I did it. Thank goodness. Yeah. And now I feel like I've achieved that. I'm ready to go to do the next thing. But it's like I've really created some momentum here, and I want to honor that, and I want to honor the people that are subscribed, and I do want to grow. Yeah. So for me, I think, you know, I've really been hesitant with people on starting multiple channels. Tim, it's a big question I get a lot. Should I have multiple channels? Yep. And my answer is always define what success is to you. And if success means having a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, maybe you should do it for one time before you try to do it twice at the same time.
Yeah. And you make a really good point, because I know that people have subscribed for one thing. And then when I would do another video on a different topic, I'd see my unsubscribes, you know, people unsubscribing because they're probably going, this isn't what I signed up for. Let's get back to the book, Tube Ritual Volume 1. In the book, you talk about the 30-day challenge, and I think you give that a lot of credit for going from 0 to 15,000 subs in about 15 months. Talk a little bit about the 30-day challenge. Tell us what it was and how easy or hard it was to do.
Yeah, so one of the things we talked about was, like, in the beginning, I really focused on the gear and the tech. And the way I look at YouTube and video marketing is there are three things that you've got to be proficient in. Number one is the tech and being able to create videos that don't break that engagement. In other words, the audio is good, the picture is good. The second part is really the YouTube optimization. Okay, this is knowing how to identify a keyword phrase. It's knowing how to leverage analytics. It's understanding how to structure a video, all the optimization that goes into doing well on YouTube. And the third part is really about your message to the world and dialing that in and having the confidence that comes with being on video often. Now, one of the ways to fast track all of this stuff is to make more videos. We talked about it earlier. It's like, if you want to become a good editor, edit it a lot. If you want to make better videos and you want to understand the settings on your DSLR, just keep messing around, which literally for the last 3 days, that's what I've been doing. Got a new camera, a new backdrop, and it takes time. And by really saying to yourself, hey, for the next 30 days, my goal is to publish 3 videos a week. Right now, I'm currently doing 1 or 2, and I'm going to push myself to do 3. I think when you do that, and especially if you announce it, and you go big, you're like, hey, I'm going to do this thing. I'm really serious about it. I'm making a commitment to myself. I'm making a commitment to my channel. You can make a video about it. You can post it to social media. But when you go public, it takes it to the next level. And it really, then you begin practicing and you start gaining the skills necessary to succeed. A few things before we move on. Vlog every day in April and August. Those of us that do the YouTube thing, we've heard about Veda, vlog every day, April and August. I don't like it. And here's why. Most of the people that I talk to say they failed. How they say things like, Veda is kicking my ass, or Veda, I'm doing so poorly at Veda. And I think if you're doing poorly at something in life, it's going to impact you moving forward. You're going to think, I'm not doing well. And quite honestly, a lot of us, when we approach video, doing 3 video uploads a week is a lot of effort. So if you go from I'm making 1 or 2 to I'm going to do a video every single day for a month, it's going to completely overwhelm you. Right. You're going to feel like you're failing. And at the same time, you have an opportunity to just create your own challenge. You know, here's what's up. And this is what I do talk about in Tube Ritual is that, you know, make your own damn Veda up. You don't have to do 7 days a week. Right. Decide you're going to publish twice a week or 4 times a week. And when I got to about month 3 or month 4 with my new channel, the channel I have now, I said, well, you've got the technical stuff down. Your videos are better. They're sounding kind of okay, not great. But I had made a lot of improvements, and I decided to do a 30-day challenge. And at that point, my subscriber base really did start amping up. It's a powerful strategy. The algorithm absolutely rewards frequency. It's funny, though, Tim. I just published a video, and I want to show you this thing here. This is kind of silly. This is the thumbnail for my most recent video. Mm-hmm. Upload daily or else.
Or else.
And I think one of the things to think about is, you know, we hear as YouTubers, those of us that you've got a channel, you're paying attention to the chatter, we hear that, you know, the algorithm really rewards frequency. That's kind of right in my opinion. I want to share how I see it. And what happens is if you publish every day, you're going to have growth no matter what, because a brand new video is going to rank for a 7-day period. YouTube artificially inflates the ranking of brand new videos for 7 days. And they do that because they want to make sure the video gets enough views, so then they've got analytical data that they can crunch to identify just how much do people like this video. So in that 7-day window, you're going to drive more views than you normally would. That gives YouTube the analytics they need to put your video where it should belong. And that's kind of how the algorithm works. Now, what happens if you're a daily vlogger? Well, you've always got 7 videos that are performing really, really well. As long as you're publishing videos, you're going to be consistently driving views, and it's helpful. However, that's not the path to greatness. A lot of people, and I've even mentioned this is just a different angle on it, but Casey Neistat went from 500,000 to 6 million when he started going daily. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that the reason why is because he was publishing videos daily? And there's a term that Matt Cutts came up with, and he talked about, actually. It's cause and causation, I believe. And it's just because we see something happening doesn't mean that cause is the result that we see. In other words, just because Casey Neistat is publishing videos daily doesn't mean that's why he got to 6 million. The algorithm, the most successful YouTubers, their videos don't rank well for 7 days. Their videos rank well for 7 years. Mm-hmm. And as they publish more and more videos, they have these videos ranking. And so I just think it's important to understand all the facts and really know how to move forward. I'll use a 7-day challenge to try to focus myself on improving the editing or improving like right now I know that my lighting on the new set is good, but it's a teeny bit too dark. So I want to brighten it up a bit. So I know moving forward next time, I'm going to brighten up the background. I know that I'm trying to dial in the level of humor, how I use it, and so on. And these are all the things that I do to try to really create that engagement, because that's what matters. So anyway, just some thoughts on the 30-day challenge. And
yeah, you hear so many people, announce that they're going to do that daily. And I think one of the points you made is you do that really so people will hold you accountable. And then you start bitching about how hard it is.
It's hard.
It really is. Well, it's hard to do anything every day, especially something like that, because, you got to get set up. You got to think of a topic. You got to try to be clever, and it can be mentally draining, even if you've got everything in place. So let's talk a little bit about, in the time we have left, about the mechanics of this, because as we said when we first started it, there's a little more to it than just doing a video and throwing it out there. There's a lot of things you have to consider. Talk about that. You showed us your thumbnail there. Maybe talk a little bit about the importance of a good thumbnail. Talk about the title, the description, that sort of thing. How important is that to getting your videos ranked?
It's not so much just the visual quality or a great looking thumbnail. It's really about establishing a brand and a look that you want for your channel that's easily identifiable and memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's repeating it again and again. So I showed you a thumbnail that I literally just published a video to YouTube. And what's fun is that I have got literally probably 100 thumbnails just like that are similar. They're all different, but they're all in the style, the same brand. They've got the same font, or there's 2 or 3 fonts I use. They've got the same color palette. They've got the same look, the same feel. And the first thing you want to do when it comes to visuals, and Nick Nimmin would use the phrase visual authority. Nick, visual authority. It's a kind of an inside joke between me and Nick. So I'll tell you, if I told you now, he would have his people hunt me down and kill me. And that would be, but it's really about making it easy for people to remember you and identify you. So the first, and if it looks great and it's fun and it drives a click, that's the first step. So obviously that's going to help. And a great thumbnail, YouTube has even said that great thumbnails lead to more views. And this is something I see a lot of entrepreneurs not doing, or they really mess it up.
Right.
One of the things people do often that, again, my ideas is they add so many darn words to their thumbnail. And when we're designing on a screen, it's pretty darn big, but that's not what people see. They see this little itty bitty thing. Turns out it's called a thumbnail. It's the size of your thumb. So a couple, 2 or 3 words that are core to what your video is about is really all you need. And it makes it easy for people to comprehend, because people don't read. There's no reading on YouTube. They recognize words. So for example, in the thumbnail that I just shared with you, and my wife is texting me, the video is about uploading daily. Do you need to do that? And the 2 words on the thumbnail are upload daily in the or else. So or else is kind of the fun, engaging, kind of like witty bit, but the video is about, do I need to upload daily? How important is it? And if you just start from that kind of a viewpoint, is this video is about this, you boil it down to the essence and you move forward. Also about, you mentioned like kind of lining up the formula or the ritual. What do you do to really ramp up success? One of the things that I like to do when I'm doing a challenge is to start off a new playlist or a new style of videos or a theme of videos. So for example, we mentioned self-publishing. Tim, what you might do is say, when we get to August, I'm going to publish 3 videos a week for 4 weeks. That's a total of 12 videos. And every single video is going to be on one subject, and that subject is going to be self-publishing. And it's super powerful, because what happens is the video you published 2 or 3 days ago was on self-publishing. It drove some views. People saw it. Some people liked it and they subscribed. Those people that subscribed, well, what's going to happen when you publish your next video? Well, they're going to get the same thing that they signed up for. It's another video in the same theme, based on the same color palette with the same style of thumbnail. They easily recognize your video, your channel. And this is how I actually launched my channel. Is I started off with a few themes in the video marketing space. In other words, I did a video about video editing. I did some videos about branding, all of these things that do work together with video marketing. And it really helps create this cohesive thing. And if you do that, if you choose one topic when you launch a channel and you really create content around that one topic, it's a great way to grow faster, because what happens is you get more people subscribing, and the people that are subscribing are going to be watching,
Right.
because you're under one central theme. Kind of like we talked about this, having the congruency, sacrificing. It's hard to do a thing and consistent. Imagine Michael Phelps, and no wonder he was smoking a bong and partying like a crazy kid, because it's like he probably missed out on that as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what do I do today? I swim. And what do I do tomorrow? I wake up, I eat, I sleep, and then I swim. And then it's like, he probably thinks he's a darn fish or something.
Well, let's talk about, we got just a few minutes left. I want to talk about how, YouTube and what you do and what you and you write about in this book. Digital entrepreneurs who are looking to establish a YouTube presence. Not necessarily a speaker or an author, but just, on the Digital Entrepreneur Show, we always use Joe, the air conditioner guy. He is our lab rat that we talk about all the time on getting him online and getting him on the web. How can just an offline business use the knowledge that you're putting here in the book to get on YouTube to establish that presence, or should they? Is it really something they need to do, or can they just, continue watching cute cat videos?
Tim, I mentioned like making videos on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've made videos on these devices for years now, and they drive business. It's not just a view.
Right.
Because what happens is those views, some of them are people that pay me money for coaching. Some of them are people that are looking for speakers, and I get to speak at an event, and that leads to more money.
Right.
And furthermore, there is so much opportunity for your lab rat. I think his name was Joe.
Joe, the air conditioning guy.
Joe, the air conditioning guy. Okay, so for Joe, it's like, one of the really cool things about YouTube is they have made it easy to make money on their platform. Another platform, like there's no checks being sent to people on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, Brian, we really appreciate that poodle post. That was good, man. You drove like 1,200 views or 1,200 what likes. And
speaking of poodles.
Yeah, there you go, poodle. That doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But YouTube, literally, you get a channel, and after you've driven a few views, it's like 10,000, which sounds like a lot, but if you're serious, you'll have 10,000 views in a number of months. And literally, they will pay you simply for creating videos based on how many people watch those videos. YouTube recently acquired a company called FameBit. FameBit is interesting in that they work with brands, and they bring YouTube creators together with brands, and the brands want to advertise on the creator channels. I've actually, I've been doing a few partner deals now, and it's pretty cool that a company will come to me and say, we want to pay you money for you to make a video based on our product, and it's the kind of products I'm already making videos on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd make the video anyway, and they're paying me. So there's so much opportunity, and it's really a matter of just saying, hey, I'm going to start. You don't have to have all the stuff. This is really enough. And the upside and possibility with YouTube is really unmatched.
Yeah. The one thing that I like about YouTube is it's, now it's the number 2 search engine. So when people, and this is one of the things we talk about with Joe, the air conditioning guy, a lot of people will go to YouTube and type in, problem with air conditioner.
Right.
Up pops a million videos of guys just like Joe with their cell phones doing the little videos and that sort of thing. So, my thing is, yes, if you're a digital entrepreneur, you need to figure out a way to use YouTube, maybe not to monetize your videos directly, but to drive customers in the door and leads to your website and that sort of thing.
You can't be a thought leader if you're not around. If people aren't seeing content from you, if you're not doing something, then, and it's not even being a thought leader, it's just business.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Joe never left his house. He wasn't in the phone book, which we're not using those anymore.
What's a phone book?
Yeah, if he doesn't have a website,
Right.
you know, if you're not being seen, you can't do business with people because they got to know. And it really is easy to make videos. You know, what's cool is that we often do make it more complicated than we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But at its core, you know, it's a simple process. And when you strip enough away to get down to that, you can make videos, you can get paid, you can build a list, you can get speaking gigs, you can have companies pay you, you can let YouTube pay you. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. The book is Tube Ritual, Volume 1. Jumpstart your journey to 5,000 YouTube subscribers. You're now over 15,000, Bri?
Yeah, we're rolling up on 16 now. So it's you know what's cool is like I've backed down a little bit just because like I'm working on the book launch,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing other things, but I'm in maintenance mode. And maintenance mode means that, you know, I'm driving 100,000 views with 1 or 2 videos a week. I'm spending less time on it, but because I've established and I've created that momentum, it kind of keeps trucking like we talked about. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to recommend the book, not only because I'm a little biased because you're my buddy, but like I said, I learned a lot from that. I think when you and I met, I had a couple of hundred subscribers. And honestly, and this is a blatant endorsement because it worked. I did what you said to do in this book. And I think I just went over like 700. So I'm not setting the world on fire, but that's a pretty good increase over the course of about 7 months. So tell folks where they can go now and buy the book.
Amazon.com. Just search Amazon for Tube Ritual. You can also learn some more and do that at tuberitualbook.com.
And you always feed a poodle whenever you support Brian, right, Bri?
That's right. Buy this book, feed a poodle.
Stake your claim, adopt a message, and feed. Is that Otis or Olive there?
That's Otis right there.
That's great. Standard poodles. My dog Buddy, who's a miniature poodle, is over there passed out. So we will put links to everything down below. Brian, any final words?
Yeah, when we first came up with that image right there, Otis said that the caption should be, "Please save me and get me out of here." But I overrode that.
That's why you never listen to your dog. By the way, you were talking about, really quickly, we've got about a minute left, about congruency of design and message. You really carry that across not only your book, but your thumbnails, your website. Matt Clark is the guy who came up with that look. So I think that's a thing that digital entrepreneurs need to realize as well is congruency. Your website, your logo, your branding, everything across all platforms should be congruent and consistent. Brian, this has been a lot of fun, my friend. I appreciate you coming on. Come back and do it again.
Thanks, Tim. It was a blast. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Poof.
Poof. Pixie dust.